Win up to £25,000. The Community Lottery, a subscription-based lottery that allows you to continue to support good causes that matter. When you win, good causes win. Every month, eligible good causes have the opportunity to win a share of funds that could help them continue the good work that they do in our communities. To apply, there's no complicated forms, nor do you have to be a registered charity. Just grab your phone, send us a 60-second video explaining your good cause and the difference having extra funding would make to your project. Visit thecommunitylottery.com. Hit the play button and sign up for either 13 weekly draws or by direct debit for just £4.35 that gives you 4 weekly draws. You could have the chance of winning £25,000. The aim of the Community Lottery is to create an additional source of funding that will enable good causes to undertake innovative projects that matter. If you're in, the communities win.
The Reggae Star Factor family and Media welcomes you to the Groove Score. This is a live stream at Reggae Star Factor YouTube and Reggae Star Factor Facebook. The date, the 14th of May 2021. The time, 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. Featuring the legendary Little Roy. With songs like Bongo Naya. Also songs like Reggae Soul.
People, I've got the reggae soul. People, you will want some more.
Also featuring the legendary Earl 16 with songs like Love Is a Feeling.
I need a love I can be.
And Holding Back the Years.
Holding back the years, holding back the tears I've had so long.
Also featuring the legendary Nearest Joseph with songs like Guidance.
In every day, trust in the Father, He'll guide you on your way. Guidance in every way, teach my people not to go astray.
And also featuring the Queen of the Pack, the Queen Max with songs like Children of the Most High.
Don't fear no man, nor fear no beast. We only wanna live in
And also featuring the King with songs like Higher Meditation.
Divine man, so much inspiration.
This is definitely one not to be missed. Make it a date and don't delay.
You ready? You got me running. Shake it, baby. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Good evening, and welcome. Welcome to the After Dark show. I'm your host, Yvonne Michelle. As always, I'm here to facilitate this show and get into some juicy conversation. So I just want to bid you all good evening. This is a great day. I hope that everybody is doing well. So, how have you been? How have you been since last week? How have you felt about our red letter scenarios? Now, we always get feedback, and we always, the people who write in do come back. And I'll be touching on that subject after I let the panel in this evening. A smaller panel, a smaller panel this evening, but I do believe we get better conversation with just a few in the room. And so, guys, keyboard warriors, be at the ready. This is a juicy show tonight. I've had another letter in, and normally I leave it a little while and then I will introduce the letters. However, because of the nature of this letter, I felt compelled to put it in tonight's show. So we have a really hard-hitting letter. So yeah, we're going to really talk tonight. And also, just to let you know that there are a few changes going on. The retreat is going, we've got some prices for you. Yes, we do. We're just going to go what we got. And if you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, you can't. If you can't do it, it's not for you. But if you can do it, it will be for you. Also, what else have I got to announce? I've got loads of things to announce, loads of things that are going on. So, but without further ado, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to introduce our panel. That's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to introduce a panel and then we're going to just carry on with the show and just move how we normally would. So, but before that, hold on a minute. Let me just welcome those of you who are on Facebook. Good evening. YouTube. Good evening. MediaNet. Good evening. How are you doing? How are you doing? So, listen, without further ado, I'm going to bring in the panel. So who have we got in the green room? Who have we got this evening? Hello. We've got Michelle. Michelle, how are you doing, my darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Do you know what? I'm actually really tired. I've got a bit of a headache, but I'm just pushing through it.
Water.
Well, I have water. I've got sparkling water. I've got spring water. I've got tonic water.
Every water.
And I've got a bit of vodka. There you go. There you go. This is about relaxation. This is about doing things how we do it. So I do have a little glass. There's no slice in it though, but but I have got the water. I don't know what's going on with my head right now, but I do have a bit of a headache. But it's so good to see you.
Lovely to see you as well.
Good. So who else have we got in the room? Oh, there we go. You're there. Wonderful. Hello, Faye. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good. Really good. And do you know what? I'll tell you what my celebration is in a minute after. I've got a little bit of a celebration.
Oh, great stuff. Good evening, Michelle.
Another celebration. Oh, I've got a bit of a celebration today. Anyway.
Hi, Faye.
Right. So who else have we got in the room? Who's in the green room? Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good evening.
Wonderful.
Good
Good
evening.
to see you. Good to have you here. And do we have one more? There we go. Hello.
How's everyone?
Well,
We're good. We're well.
Thank you.
That Trubisky said, rub a little vodka upon the forehead for the headache. I'll rub it on my tongue. Yeah, anyway. There we go. Listen, how you doing? Theo? How you doing, Karen? How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah, all's well. Good.
Great stuff. Yeah.
I'm all right. I've got a bit of a headache, but I'm all right. Shall I tell you what my little celebration is?
Yes.
Okay, my little celebration is, right, so the YouTube channel has been sitting at 298 for ages. I don't put it out. I don't say, oh, follow me on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. I don't really, I just say like and subscribe when I remember. But today, we're at 301, and I've wanted to get to 300 for ages. So I feel like, sit there. And I know it, to some people who have got thousands and thousands and thousands of people subscribed to their YouTube channel, they might feel that that's, oh, it's only 300, but it's 300 people, right? And how I see it and how I look at this on the YouTube channel, if you have 300 people and you have 250 people watching, that means that most of your subscribers are engaging, and that's what it's about. It's not just having numbers just for having numbers' sake, but we want engagement. We want people to be listening and taking part. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Yeah, sit there. Anyway, so today you have to forgive me. Today is another Red Letter Tuesday. The letters are coming in, but I do have it. I had one in place, but I've changed it because I got a letter that came in today, and I feel that it has a little bit of urgency behind it and needs to be dealt with. Because sometimes, I can leave it a couple of weeks or so, or, if I'd send them a message and I'll give them a little idea of what they need to do, and then we talk about it after. But this one, I just feel that we need to be looking at this with some urgency. So, but that will be the second letter. So we're going to really move quickly. And also just to say, just going to let you guys know that the show is going to be going down to 1 hour. Just thought I'd let you know that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to go to an hour show.
That's a lot to pack in an hour, boy.
Yeah, but it will.
Concise.
It's coming after the break. I'm going to take a little bit of a break because I've been going for a year. I've probably had maybe 5-6 weeks off in total in that year, and so I'm going to take some time out, recuperate, rejig, redo the show, look at the direction of the show. But it will be an hour.
1 hour. You can't.
Hard hitting, punching, like that.
Wow.
You can't have Tony Cox on here then.
Answers have got. The thing is now is, guys, we've had a year, right, to kind of get used to this kind of platform. And when you look at how chat shows run, they don't run for 2 hours. They don't. You're lucky if you get an hour. So, and answers have got to be quick. You've got to be quick. You've just got to be thinking, right, what is the answer? I don't need to know about your life story, because your life story is not of interest to the people who are listening. They just want an answer. There you go. Boom. New things are going. New things are going. I ain't got time for it now. We need to be more on point. That's what I'm saying. So those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, I just dropped a bombshell. There you go. But it's all good. The show is going to be much better in the hour. So we've got this show. We've got this red letter. Hold on. Let me just put you on mute. That's it. Wonderful, wonderful. Right. So we've got Red Letter Tuesday. And I mentioned the red letter last week. Let me just bring it up. Right. The first letter is short. Am I an idiot? Am I an idiot? Right. Are we ready for this, guys? I'm going to go straight into it. Right, I just want to know. Hold on. I just want to know, are you ready? Are you ready, like Freddie, whoever Freddie is? Don't know who he is. You ready? Okay, here we go. Here's the letter. Keyboard warriors at the ready. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, panel. I've been dating a 45-year-old man for the past 3.5 years. We are happy in our relationship, but like most couples, we have our issues, mainly around trust. My issue is with his relationship with his ex. They have a great relationship. When we meet, me and his ex, it's always frosty. She is the mother of his 15-year-old son, and I respect that. They work together. They still go on holidays together. He has even accidentally fallen asleep at her house on a few occasions, which really pissed me off. I have told him several times that I'm uncomfortable with their relationship. He says I'm jealous, I'm insecure, or that I have nothing to worry about. She is family. I care about this man, and I have invested my time and energy into this relationship. This situation really frustrates me. I think I'm ready to walk away. I feel like the third wheel in the relationship anyway. Am I being mugged off? Are they taking me for some kind of fool or an idiot? Please help, Anonymous. So that's straight to the point. Straight to the point. So here we have a female lady, 45. Oh no, he's 45. She doesn't say how old she is. She's 45, been in a relationship for the last 3.5 years. Says she's happy, but then says they've got an issue with trust. And it's with his ex-partner. Yeah, their meetings are frosty. Her and her partner and his ex have a 15-year-old son together. She respects that union, but she also goes on to say that they've been on holiday several times, and he's accidentally, first time accident. All the time people say that, innit? First time accident, second time is purpose. Anyway, that's just what old time people say. Wisdom, let it talk. But yeah, so here we have the dilemma, guys. Here we have the dilemma. Keyboard warriors at the ready. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on this scenario? So guys, I'm coming over to you. I'm actually going to go to Karen first. Yeah, I'm coming to you first, darling.
Well, what I will say is I'm very intentional. So I don't think I'd be able to put up with that kind of a situation, to be honest with you. For my partner to have a best friend in an ex. No, it's not my cup of tea. Yeah, falling asleep on his sofa, no. It just wouldn't happen because he would be too scared to fall asleep. There's no way my man is going to fall asleep on somebody's sofa accidentally because he must be dreaming about hell if he did that.
Okay. Okay, then. Well, Karen has spoken. He would be dreaming about hell if he did that. Oh, Yvonne's clapping her hands. Oh, dear. Let me keep my hands together. Okay, I'm going to leave Theo to last because he is the male. He is the male of the group. So, Faye, I'm coming to you.
First of all, if there's no trust, you don't have a relationship anyway. So to say that you're going to leave or anything like that, I think you've kind of set your own, you've said that you don't trust him. So I don't know how you can even move on with a relationship with him. And the other thing is, I mean, has he given reason for you not to trust him? Because the relationship with his ex has been 15 years. They've got a child of 15 years. So they've had this relationship going on, and it will continue to go on long after. If the relationship broke up, it would continue to go on. So the other thing that the thing is, if you can't take on board that relationship, then you don't have a relationship, because trust is the basis for any relationship. And if you don't have it, then you don't have a relationship, as far as I'm concerned. And especially if he hasn't given you real reason to, if you found evidence, if you found, I don't know, text messages or something, I don't know what that would look like for you. But if there's nothing there, no basis for that other than he's got a relationship with the mother of his child, then you just don't have a relationship in my eyes.
Okay. Right. I'm just going to throw out there, I'm going to ask a question as a rhetorical kind of, I'm not asking you, I'm just putting a question out there. Do you think that him falling asleep at the ex's house is a reason for her not to trust him? Just throwing it out there. Michelle, come in.
Good evening, everybody. Well, I don't know. I think trust, she said that she's got trust issues, or there are trust issues in the relationship. And I can only assume from this that they are her trust issues. But I'd want to know why the relationship is frosty with the ex-partner. Is the ex-partner frosty with her, or is she frosty with the ex-partner because of her trust issues? I would be a bit uncomfortable about the holidays together. I think that sounds a bit more than Brady Bunch, but it can happen. So if she trusts him, that's one thing, but she doesn't seem to. So she needs to talk to him about those issues, or talk to somebody about those issues. And I'm just interested in the frostiness. And I wonder why that is. Because if neither woman has got anything to hide or any agenda, then they shouldn't be frosty, should they?
Well, I wouldn't assume so neither, but you know, I'm going to give you a little bit more in a minute, Mr. Thea, Mr. Manderson, sitting there amongst all these beautiful women.
Yeah, harem.
You feel like a king, isn't it?
It's a virtual harem going on here. Okay, I'm gonna be the man in this situation. He set himself up for argument, really and truthfully. If he's with this lady that he says he cares for, his actions are questionable. Going on holiday with your ex, why? There's no reason to. Sleeping at the house, there's no reason to neither. I can understand you falling asleep and maybe a couple hours and then you go up, but staying overnight, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a whole different ballgame, because if it were the other way around, would he be happy with it? If it was her staying with her ex, oh, I fell asleep at the house. I don't know, but yeah, he needs to smooth that out if he wants to, because that's what you're gonna have to do. He's the common denominator. They don't know each other. He's the reason, so he needs to sort out whatever's going on there and put his current girlfriend or missus at ease, because that's who he's with. And if they're doing holidays and all these things together, why did they separate? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you separate if you're going to go on holidays and spending so much time together? Why did you separate? So he needs to answer those questions himself. Or is he trying to create his own harem? I don't know. So yeah,
he might well be trying to do his own harem, as you put that into my head now, the harem situation.
I wouldn't want a harem, because that's just too much women and too much headache, man.
I would have thought that would be very much more headache if you want that
headache,
kind of lifestyle. Wow. But then there are some men who have more than one partner, and it's all open and they're happy with that, aren't they? Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? So right, so I can answer a couple of the questions that Michelle. The girlfriend is not invited on the holidays, by the way. She's not invited on their family holidays. And the ex is frosty. She feels that the ex is frosty with her. But again, she's the one with the trust issues. So that might be down to interpretation. I don't know. Nevada says, myself and my ex have tried to maintain good communication for our two children, and they're aged 11. They were aged 11 and 13. Today they are, can you put that back up for me? Today they are 26, 28, and everyone is good with that. I think that when you are in a relationship, it is the best option that you get on with your ex. It doesn't always work out that way. And it is a shame that the person that you were supposed to have been in love with, now you can't stand them. But we know that it doesn't always work out that way. So that is the added part of that scenario, is that the ex, the current girlfriend, does not get invited on to the holidays, the family holidays, which her partner has said, to her in the text, said that he feels that she's jealous, insecure, and has nothing to worry about. His ex is family. So my question is...
Can I answer that?
Is she family? Yes, go on.
So I've got 6 children, 2 other mothers. But I wouldn't be going on holiday with any of them. We get on well. but there's no reason for me to be going on a holiday with either of them and leaving my wife at home. That doesn't make any sense. Even family or not family that doesn't mean anything. I understand him saying she's family because, you know, they had a child 15 years ago together, so they're obviously together for 16 years ago. So yeah, I understand that, but to leave your partner at home to go on a week's holiday with your ex, sunning it up and all that stuff, that doesn't make any sense. Of course, somebody's gonna feel insecure and have trust issues. Why wouldn't they? That's just human. She can't just say, oh, it's fine, they're on holiday together, playing happy families and, you know, maybe sharing a hotel room. We don't know. Don't know. So
can I just, I hear what you're saying, Theo. I hear what you're saying. I just want to ask the panel of women, would you be willing, just, you know, this is not about us taking things personally, but we are women. Would you be comfortable with your partner and his ex going on a holiday with their child and you are not invited? Just asking, yes or no?
Not invited is a no. Not invited. What does that mean? How am I not invited? How are you drawing such a line down in the sand to say, I'm on this side and you two together on that side? I feel like I'm piggy in the middle anyway. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm invading their space. How does that happen? So another point about the ex being frosty with the current girlfriend, that's up to the man to handle that situation. Obviously, he hasn't. He's allowed it to go on for so long. And now look, there's two separate families. So to me, there's too many things wrong here. And in regards to insecurity and trust, I mean, really, are we so hard-hearted to think that, you know, every situation we step into, we're going to trust that person completely? No, we don't. Who trusts their partner 100%? You might want to say 97%. You might want to say 99%, but 100%, really? We are human. We are fallible. We make mistakes. We can't just give people everything of us. We have to keep a little bit for ourselves. And for me, I would not be putting up with my partner going on holiday in that kind of way, and I'm not invited. I should have the choice whether if I want to come or not.
Okay, well, I do believe the young lady is listening, so she will be taking all of this in. Good evening, those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube. I can see some names coming up. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, Jemmy Reese. Good evening, Natural Mystic. Good evening, good evening. I've got L.M. Walcott, Michelle Malcolm. We've got some other names coming up on the thread. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So we are talking about, this is Red Letter Tuesday, and hi, As I Am Beauty. This was number 300. My darling, you were my number 300th person to join and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I want to say thank you very much, and I'm going to email you, my darling. I'm going to email you my free ebook. I'm going to send you my ebook. It's Inspired Affirmations, and I'm going to send that to you for being the 300th person. Am I saying it right? 300th person to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So thank you very, very much, my darling. And she's a beauty expert as well. She does makeup. So if you can work out anything that you want to do here, you can always help our sister out. Yes, you can. All right, so we are talking about trust this evening on this red letter. Young lady is in a relationship with a partner who has a child, 15-year-old child with his ex. He has a great relationship with his ex. They even go on holiday, and he has even fallen asleep at her house on the odd occasion, which she feels really uncomfortable with. And she wants to know whether or not she should say, I'm out. Like a dragon's den. I'm out. She wants to know what she should do. All right. So this is Keyboard Warriors at the ready. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Now, there was, it was Natural Mystic that said, the man laid the foundation, which she accepted. So what's the problem all of a sudden after 3.5 years?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm sure this is not the first time they've been on holiday. I mean, we've been in lockdown for a year, so last year they probably didn't go on holiday. So the years before that, if you allowed that from the beginning without any confrontation or saying anything, then the thing is you set yourself up for that year in, year out. I do actually think that he should have extended the invite though. Definitely, that's something he should have done because they are a partnership now. But sometimes people just have really great relationships and they have really good friendships, and sometimes that's what happens. So if you accept that from the beginning, because you've been dating him, you've built a relationship with him over 3 years, this hasn't just happened. So I beg the question, what happened the year 1? What happened the year 2? How are you feeling then? Why is it year 3 that there's a problem? And definitely the man should have a talk with the ex-partner to find out why there's a frostiness, because she might not even perceive it as that, because that's the thing. She might not even think she is being that way. It might be just someone's perception of how she's coming across. Some people have, a RBF a lot of the time, a resting bitch face, and that's just how they are. So it might be that she's not being frosty. That's just the way she is. That's just her, that's just her affect. So, but there is a question to ask if there is a problem, and I think that should come from the ex-partner.
Okay, thanks for that comment, Faye. Thanks for that comment. There was a comment from Julie Thomas. Can we bring that up? From Julie Thomas, I think she's in group. She should have raised the concerns from the off, and maybe if she felt she could not, it's never too late to voice it and speak her mind or your mind. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do think, as this should have been discussed in the beginning of the rec. Right. As I am Mu Beauty, is it More Beauty? As I am More Beauty says, all this should have been discussed at the beginning of the relationship. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think for me,
she has. I think she has. That's what the letter says.
Let me go back.
Did she say that, Theo? I don't remember her saying that.
She said that for him to be saying that she's insecure and all this, that means there's been a discussion.
Yeah, they must have had a conversation.
They've had conversation.
That might have been after the last one. That might not have been.
Don't know when, but the fact that she's saying it, that means that they've had discussions around it and it's an issue.
Yeah.
For him to say she's insecure and trust issues and all that,
you're right.
That means they've been discussing it for a while, and now she's written a letter because he's obviously not listening. And as I said, he's the one that's in control here. So he needs to sit down with his ex separately or together with both of them and nip everything in the bud. Just like, stop it. He said, I've been there, so I had to nip it in the bud from the get-go, because it can just escalate into where it is now. The ex is being frosty and she's doing it on purpose because this woman's messing up her happy family. That's what she's doing. She's messing up her happy family. She might not want the man, but doesn't mean she wants anybody else for him. And she wants to have access to him whenever she wants. So for her to go on holiday with him and he can come and stay at my house, no problem. How many of you let your ex stay at your house, no problem? Fall asleep on the odd occasion.
I have had an ex fall asleep at my house.
I have too.
But
I understand the relationship.
On one occasion, would you go on holiday with him?
Yeah, I have.
Would you go on holiday with him, Faye?
I haven't been on holiday with an ex, no.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Certainly, it depends on the relationship, and if he's an ex, this ex has got a child with this woman, so we can't just say it's an ex, just not any ex.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The child's not the issue. The child is.
No, I'm just saying about the ongoing relationship.
Yeah, I've got 2 mums. I've got, my children are big now, so I've been there. I know exactly what's going on. She's playing it. The ex is playing and she's having fun. Because look, she has access to him. She can break up that relationship, is what she's doing. Because she's the one that's causing the problem, not them. Not the new partner, because the new partner's walked into that situation. She's only been around for 3 years. So they've been going on holiday year in, year out. So if you've met this guy and all of a sudden he says, look, I'm going on holiday next month with my ex, it's too late for you to say, oh no, you can't go. because they've been doing it for the last how many years? So you've walked into that situation, and now she's like, I don't really like this. I don't like that. Don't like this. Where you're insecure. There's nothing going on. I've stayed overnight. It's not a problem. I slept on the sofa. How does she know that? And even if you did stay on the sofa, why did you stay overnight? You can get up and go. You must drive or Uber or bus or whatever. There's night bus, Uber, whatever it is. So there's no reason to stay overnight. I can understand falling asleep for a couple hours and then, because in the middle of the night, you're going to get that itch. I don't care who you are. You're going to
Come on, Theo.
You're going to get that itch.
Not
I don't care who
everyone,
you are.
Theo. Not everyone.
Trust me, Faye, if she's at home, she's not going to come downstairs. How do you sleep, Faye?
What do you mean? How do I sleep?
When you go to sleep, how do you sleep? I know what you said to me, and you told people. Yeah. Yeah. In your birthday suit.
In my birthday
suit.
Yes.
So he's downstairs falling asleep in a birthday suit. Oh, I want a drink of water.
Yeah.
Really? Come on.
Yeah, but you see now, I'm not going to do that, because if I've said, I know, I'm not saying otherwise, but we don't know that she's not like that. We're assuming that she's not like.
Faith, you're going on holiday and they in your birthday suit, in the birthday.
Are they sharing a room
costumes,
on
having a drink? You know, holiday, the sun, free. Oh, this is romantic. Walking on the beach. Come on, man. Come on.
I don't think it's caused
young lady, if you're listening, they're taking you for an idiot, and I don't care. Tell a man to step and go back to his ex. Simple. Tell him to step and go back to his ex. Because he's obviously got feelings for his ex. Because I'm not going to go on holiday with none of the mothers of my children. You're crazy.
Right,
I like them. We get on, but go on holiday.
Yeah.
No.
Come in, Michelle. Michelle, what you got to say?
Okay, thank you for that, Theo. Can we think about this from another point of view? The whole point of being the adults and the parent is that we're meant to raise and nurture balanced children, aren't we? So the child, the 15-year-old boy, is seeing his father staying at his mum's house and going on holiday with his mum, and leading this child to the idea perhaps that the relationship is still 100% full on when it isn't. So how are they preparing that child for future relationships? So that's an issue in itself. They're not, because that is just not a usual relationship. And maybe the writer of the question needs to look at it with her partner from that angle. However, I do agree with the rest of the panel. It seems to me that this gentleman is mixing the cake, baking the cake, and licking the bowl, because it's all one-sided. And I definitely do believe that the ex feels that she has the upper hand, because she can just click her fingers and have him there whenever he wants. And new girlfriend can't really say anything because it's the status quo. But I really believe that if this lady wants to preserve this relationship, which she needs to consider quite carefully, because changing it now is going to be difficult, she needs to talk to him about the perspective of having or raising a balanced child, which is going to be difficult because it's not her child. But that is not a realistic situation. The child needs to see that his parents get on well, but they have boundaries, so that he will go on to have good relationships with boundaries.
I agree with Michelle. I definitely agree with Michelle. Because
I'm going to put it down again, because I actually also agree with Theo, because Theo's made some really good points here, and so has Michelle. Michelle, there's a bigger picture here to this situation, a much bigger picture. And the thing is, in everything that we do, we can only judge it by our own standard. We cannot judge anything by any other standard apart from our own, and maybe our own experiences. And, you know, I for one, I am going to say on this one that what Michelle has said directly is that the ex has all the cards. She holds the trump card. She's actually running things in this situation, right? And he is like running between the two. Now, from my own personal experience, Theo asked the question, would you let your ex stay overnight? My answer to that is, on a normal situation, no. But I can tell you this. In an experience when my daughter was much younger, my ex could drop asleep at the drop of a pin, sleeping, can't wake him until train stop run. And you see the question about the birthday suit? Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. They're named X for reasons, because when you're an X, you know what went before, right? What comes before X on the alphabet? There's something that come before the X, right? So, man is man, woman is woman, body is body, and sex is sex. And when the opportunity comes, it comes, literally. Yeah. Okay. So my thing is, I'm just keeping it real. My thing is that the likelihood of nothing happening the first time is accident. Second time is on purpose. Third time, you're just taking the mick. You're taking the mick. Because you know, if you're tired, why are you going there? Why are you sitting down? Why are you coaching? Why? Do what you have to do and go. You know, I know that when we eat, sometimes the food can take anchor in the belly and, you know, sleep just cometh to us. Don't eat. Don't put yourself in that situation. Because what Michelle has said, rightly said, there is a 15-year-old boy. So he was what, 12 when the new relationship started, right? Just in his puberty years, he's 12 and he's seeing his dad with his mother and this new woman, and they're playing happy families. My question would be is, where is the sun when the two women are meeting and it's frosty? Because it's the impression, as Michelle said, the impression that you're giving the youngsters. We have to be responsible as adults. And this letter for me is like the three adults are not being responsible. That's how I see it. They're not being responsible. As a mother, as a woman who's been in relationship, as the girlfriend of the ex-partner, because we've all been in that situation at somewhere. And if you haven't been in that situation, you're about to go in it, because this is how it is, right? So if this is a situation, you as the adults are supposed to be able to look at this and say, right, what impression are we putting on, one, this young person? Two, what impression, me as the ex, if I don't want the man, I'm making sure that my girl knows, I don't want your man. I've had him, been there, seen it, done it, don't want it. You have him. I'm making sure she knows I'm not interested in your man. So she would know that I'm not being frosty, even though I've got one of them faces. When I'm concentrating, my face is set. But you're going to know, I don't want your man. I don't want him. In no uncertain terms. So for me, this whole thing, this young lady, listen, it's been 3.5 years. What I'm saying is cut your losses. Cut your losses and work on you, because you didn't put yourself, you didn't think about this situation when you walked in it. You saw this man and you like the man, and whatever the man's giving you, you obviously like it. But you don't like yourself as much as you like that man. That's what I'm saying.
Don't they work together as well?
They do work together. They have a business together.
Right. So he's spending more time. He's spending more time with the ex. He's spending more time with the ex.
And the man, they work together. I'm like,
the girlfriend knew this. The girlfriend knew this from the beginning, and she's kind of accepted that That's the problem. It's
Yeah,
you know,
we do know
do you,
that she's accepted stuff up to this point,
Yeah.
obviously, because it's happening.
She's quarreling. She's saying she's spoken to him several times, but even though you're saying that you don't like it, you're still in it.
still accepting
there.
it.
So you're accepting it and you're feeding it because he knows he can have you and her.
Yeah.
And he's not taking
probably-
her into consideration at all.
No.
He's
Like
more
Karen
thinking
said from
about
the
what the
beginning.
ex wants.
Yeah,
And
like Karen said
probably-
from the beginning, it's not something that she would have accepted from the jump. So the thing is, if you're a person that doesn't accept something from the jump, he wouldn't have been able to get away with it at any time at all. Even if he said in his head, even if he said out loud, yeah, I accept what you say, and then went behind your back, you know, that those were my boundaries. That's what I say. That's what I mean. And actions speak louder than words at the end of the day. So as Karen said, that wouldn't have been an issue in her relationship from the get-go. And this shouldn't have been an issue from the get-go.
For me, you're writing a letter.
Yeah, you can't backtrack.
You're writing a letter. You should be telling your man whatever. You know, you're wasting time writing a letter. It's a waste.
For me, there's no confusion here.
She needs to go and done.
The man is not considering you. The man is not considering you. The man is not taking your feelings into account. Even if he was to come and say, oh, she's really controlling or whatever, he's not taking your feelings into account. Multiple holidays, multiple staying over, and you work together. So you want to spend 75% of your time with your ex. Don't sound right to me. I'm sorry.
No.
Obviously, the girlfriend is
3 years, 6 months of this. Sounds like you're in an entanglement, sister.
Sounds like she's the outside woman. Sounds like she's the outside woman.
She sounds like she's absolutely right, Karen. The other one, the knockoff. That's what but she's the accepted one because the ex knows about her. Maybe, and I think Theo said maybe the ex don't even want him, but she don't want no one else to have him. Have we considered that?
Yeah.
Jeremy says, please answer, lady, if this was her sister. Hold on. If this was her sister, what would she tell her? Absolutely. What would you tell her? What would you tell your sister? As a matter of fact, if you had a daughter, let's go down to let me go to your gut. Let me go to your womb. If this was your daughter, and your daughter said, Mummy, my boyfriend has an ex. What would you tell your daughter? The fruit of your womb. What would you tell her?
You know,
Don't stand for the bag of nonsense.
I think she's young. I think she's young.
Well,
she's either young or she's old. Older.
Older than him.
Yeah.
What's
she's
old?
like
Leo?
late
Like
50s
desperate,
or something like that.
Well, she
Late
says
50s.
she's dating a 45-year-old man. He's 45.
Yeah, so she's young, like 30s or whatever, or late 50s, and she's feeling about being on her own. One of them two there, I don't know.
And he's immature too.
No, he's just having fun.
Please.
He's having fun, man. You don't business. He's having
He's
fun.
having the cake, eating it, and
He's having
cooking
fun.
a bowl and
What?
everything in the
He
oven.
works at this woman, goes home, got one day.
she's
I would be
providing
interested
something.
to know, when did they break up? Was it 4 years ago or was it ages ago? And did he have another relationship in between there? Because something just
Why
not
did
right.
they break up? Why did they break up?
They love each other. Clearly, they get on very well, better than him and
Yeah.
his woman. So
Well, she says she cares about this man. She said, I've invested my time and energy into this relationship.
It's all right.
But the situation frustrates her. And she says she's ready to walk away. She says she feels like the third wheel in the relationship. That's what she says.
Julie Thomas said it.
What?
Julie Thomas said it. She's a side chick.
Yep.
Yeah.
A side chick.
Yeah. A side chick with a different title, to me.
she needs to get to step in and don't waste any more time.
It's a bad investment. Just cut, your bad investment. You cut your losses, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Meaning it's saying time to leave. It's time to
You
leave.
can't go back. You can't go backwards. You can't set the boundaries now.
Well, I'm not saying that you can't, but I just got
He's not
going to listen.
He's not receptive to
He's
it.
not receptive. They've already talked about it. So there's no going back when they've already talked about it.
He's taking the piss out of her as it is. He's not going back.
He's gaslighting her.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think My thing is the wife turned beside the wife, the ex is running everything.
Of course.
Yeah. She's in full control. She don't want the man, but she has the man to go on holiday, to do whatever. He can stay over at her house. She don't have to wash and clean for him. But he probably sorts her out. I'm not.
He doesn't have no reason to be at the house. He doesn't have any reason to be at the house.
That's what I'm saying. The child's big. I don't understand why he's at the house so much.
They have a business together, so
that's the business in the house.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
But he doesn't have to stay because the child's 15.
No, I know he doesn't have to stay, but maybe that's where the business is. Who knows?
They're project planning.
Don't know that. She might have an office in the house that they work from. I don't know. We don't know.
But then it's not practical. If you're in a relationship,
social distancing.
Social distancing. Oh my God, these guys are.
He's all up in her bubble.
I don't know.
He's all up in her bubble.
Not everything is black and white.
We are virtual.
Look. Police gonna knock her door.
All of us are in different places.
Exactly.
Right. It's dead o'clock at night right about now. I don't need to go to sit with Theo in his yard to do this show. Karen don't have to come to my house. Faye, none of us have to congregate together. We have these beautiful, wonderful applications that we can use. There is no excuse.
Yeah.
And he all up in her bubble. He all up in her bubble, innit? Next minute, the pum police come and knock because they don't know what's going on.
Now.
He's popping.
He's popping that bubble. We don't know that they had sex. We're assuming that they've had sex. We don't know that.
That's what need to go knock on that door.
There's things you can do.
Fall asleep. At the pum police, the girlfriend should call and send them round there to see what's going on. Because I'm telling you, listen, my darling, I know you're listening. And I just think that you already know. You already know. Men know, women know. We know when something is off, when something are gone, we already know. Your gut, your instincts tells you. You already know what this man is doing. You already know what he's about. And so you have a choice to make. Choose yourself. Don't choose the man. Choose yourself. Choose to raise up your self-esteem. Work on you because you're precious and he's not treating you right. That's not you wouldn't want that to be your daughter, your sister, your friend. You wouldn't even want that for your frenemy. You wouldn't. Take some time out, walk away. And I bet you any money, if you walk away, I bet you any money, he'll just accept it. And I know it's harsh. And we don't normally give it out like this, but you know what? You need to hear the truth. Don't waste your time.
For real, because it could either go two ways. She could leave him and he don't even look at her, or she could leave and he could actually really change. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be the catalyst for change. Get up, pack your stuff, lady.
Well, if he changes, please let us know.
Let us know.
Please let us know. We'll be interested.
We're not taking any bets. We're not taking any bets that he's going to change.
Is it Jimmy Reese?
Jimmy Reese says, my partner knows I have no sexual feelings towards the mother of my children, but I would never, ever fall asleep round here.
Amen to that.
Because he knows.
Because there's problems.
That's what you call respect. That's what you call creating boundaries. This man don't have no respect and he don't have no boundaries. Call blimey, carry pum police. Police are gonna knock your door.
Yeah, there's no boundaries. He doesn't have no respect. He doesn't respect her.
No,
I was gonna say, what's the business? Is it porn that they have to be in the same place and that somebody put OnlyFans? Yeah, even if it's a sex line, they could do it. Like they don't need to be together.
It doesn't matter what they're doing nowadays. People running banks from their home.
You know what I discovered today? Even like photographers normally have to be in the same room as you to take a picture. There's now this thing where you can have a photographer can do your pictures virtually. So if that can happen, he don't need to be there. End of story. That's what I'm saying. They don't need to be in the house.
He doesn't need to be in the house.
No. And we got the
Especially not
one
that
man on
late
the
when he's
tread.
falling asleep. Not that late when he's falling asleep, like 10 o'clock at night. You can't use the child. Oh, my son. Your son's 15. Come on, man. He's not.
And
You don't want to talk to your son. There's 15-year-olds don't talk.
my man's
15-year-olds
like
ain't sitting
falling
down
asleep.
talking to daddy.
He's like falling asleep, all comfortable, like fluffing up pillows behind his back, and just like falling asleep, comfortable, like.
And he's out.
It's all right.
He's out tonight.
It's all right.
That man
It's
is
all right.
getting the biggest nudge. Wake up! Come on, you gotta go. You gotta go. You can't stay. It's not for you to stay. The ex should be telling him it's time to go home. He should know when it's time to go. He's a big man. Yeah, let us all take responsibility for our own self. He's a big man. Young lady, you made a point of saying his age, but not yours, which makes me feel like you are younger than him.
Younger.
Isn't it? I think she's younger. He's a 45. He's a big old ton down the edge man. Let him take responsibility. Walk. Cock up your body and walk. Make him just see your body roll. Go on. And see what happens. See what happens. Just see what happens. I don't think it's a good idea. I think we need to move on because I really want to get... is he living in walking distance from home? We don't know, Herbie. We don't know. But I do want to move on to our second letter because this letter's really gripped me today. Jerry Reese says, yes, he should know for real. Come out of people's house unless you're looking pum pum. Absolutely. That's why we're calling the pum pum police.
That's the only reason why I be there late, man. It's the only reason why.
Do you reckon they'll make a special force in the Metropolitan Police called Pum Pum?
Pum Pum Police.
Think.
What would you do?
I don't know if they need it.
I should put a thing on it. I should trademark that. Pum Pum Police. It's like whatever it is. Yeah. Could you imagine? I reckon Boris would love that. Anyway, right.
He would get locked up. He would get locked up first.
Boris would just add to his children as a children, man. Boris would just add to his children, man.
But Boris it's probably Boris's girlfriend that's written this letter. Because he's got a few, hasn't he? He's got a few big women, hasn't he?
He's got a few children all over the place, isn't he?
You don't even know how many children he's got. That's the joke.
He's a baby daddy. He's a baby daddy.
He's a baby daddy.
You don't business.
He's a Dan Gargan.
Wow.
Dan Morgan.
He wild out the road. Right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the second letter. So, to just clarify, she did say, is she being mugged off? Yes.
Yes.
And are they taking me for some kind of idiot? Yes.
Yes.
Are we all
Sorry.
agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I was on mute. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Definitely.
All right. Okay, so letter 2. Dear Yvonne, I'm a 39-year-old man. I've been married for 5 years. I have 1 child with my wife, and I took on her 2 teenage sons, and I'm raising them as my own. We get on well, and I enjoy being a dad to them. That being said, we have had our moments, but generally, me and the kids get on really well. The issue is my wife. When we first started dating, she seemed really understanding and we got on really well. I have not had many previous relationships, but she is more experienced than me in that area, if you understand what I mean. After our child was born, things began to change. Her expectations became more demanding. Don't get me wrong, I have a fairly good job. She works part-time, but I am a traditional man. I take care of the house, bills, etc. I only ask that she covers the mobile phone bills for the household, which is 4 phones, that's what she said, which doesn't equate to much. He says, I'm a quiet man and I generally don't fuss. I was raised to fend for myself so I can wash, cook, clean, iron, and keep house and help around the house, which I do. My wife does her part for the kids, but does not do for me. If I say anything, she shouts and becomes aggressive. She has fronted me, pushed me several times. I leave the house when things get out of control. But things are getting worse. Last week, and this is why I moved this letter forward, she got so angry and she said, I'm not for her, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I have no idea what she means. I've spoken to her, I've tried to understand. She just says, I'm not for her. She says, I put other people before her. He says, I don't go nowhere. I don't see no one, not even my own family. My wife is rude to them and I feel embarrassed. If I say anything to her, she blows off and it gets worse. And then she drinks. She does drink and she says it takes the edge off sometimes. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. So last week, when she got angry, I didn't cut the grass. She got agitated and went for me, and our 2-year-old was playing and got in the way and hit his head. He's okay, but I don't know what to do. I'm embarrassed to talk to anyone. I have mentioned this to a friend and he told me to give her one slap. And I said, I have never seen my father behave like that. And I believe in my heart that a man should never hit a woman. So that is not an option. I just don't know what to do. Can you help? Do you know what? Right. I'm just going to say this. When I got this letter, it absolutely broke my heart. It broke me. And even reading it, I can feel the pain here. So I want us to, because, you know, sometimes we can talk and we can have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke, but I just want us to really think about this one. And I really want us to think about how we can advise this man, because this is a serious situation. I do feel that there may be some mental health here, but I think that this is one of the most serious letters that we've had. I don't think we've had a letter so serious, and this is why I brought this one to the forefront, because, you know, there are children, there is abuse going on, and it's not the norm. And I really feel that this man has stepped out because he really needs help. We do have some numbers that will go up on the screen. The National Abuse Helpline, in case there's any men or women who are listening that may be affected by a situation like this. And there's also some male hotlines on there as well, because I do feel that you know, when we talk about domestic abuse, it's always towards the women, and we do sometimes forget the men and realize and forget that men go through this as well. So I just want us to be mindful, right? Be mindful. Me, Jeanette, saying this is pure and simple abuse. Absolutely. So I just, again, want us to be mindful of how we deal with this. This is a delicate situation. So I'm gonna go to Theo first, actually, being a man. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
It was clearly been abuse, and he has to. I think someone says it. He needs to. Who was it? I think it was someone said he needs to move out. Literally, just take himself away, because if he's getting physical, he needs to move out. He needs to take himself away, and then have discussions, therapy, counseling, marriage counseling for both of them, whatever. But they need to separate, because that sounds very toxic. And if it's just over the cut end of the grass and then your child's getting hurt in the, fortunately the child was all right. So that's only going to escalate. It's only going to escalate. So he needs to separate. It's going to be hard. Maybe take the children with him or take his child, or if she's okay with the children, then just take herself out of the situation.
Well, that was one of the questions that he did pose. That was right at the very end of the letter: is should I leave the children or should I take them with me? The issue here as well is 2 of the children are not his biological children, and he would want to take them all.
If she's not abusive to the children, and then their children can stay because that's their house, unless he's got somewhere we can take all of them. But he needs to come out, because it's only gonna escalate. And then he might retaliate.
Yeah.
Or she might just do some real harm to him. So yeah, he needs to come out. They need to separate, find a mediator, family, friend, somebody, counseling, therapy, whatever. They need to talk from a distance, not in the same house, because she's already isolating him from everybody. So he needs to come out and really just start again and really evaluate this relationship. Because I don't know why maybe this sounds like a pattern. It might be a pattern that she does, because she's got 2 teenage children. So we don't know what she was like in her previous relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he needs to take a check, man.
I've got a Bill. Thank you for that thing. I've got a Bilal Aji. I think you pronounce Ade. I don't know you, my friend, but he says I'm a nutrotherapist.
Neurotherapist.
I'm happy to offer my services. If you message me, info@yvonnemichelle.com, and I will connect. I will speak to this young man and connect you to. I hope you're qualified. You can show some credentials. Right. So Andy Wolford says, I think the partner may have postnatal depression, and that might be an issue. Right. And that's something, and she might need help in this area. That is something that needs to be considered. It does need to be considered as well. But ladies, I mean, Theo's come in. I want to get I don't want to say anything until you ladies have come in. Does anyone want to jump in? Michelle, do you want to jump in on this? As being, we were talking about how it affects young people being affected. You brought that up in the last conversation. So maybe you want to.
I think, first of all, we all need to just close our eyes and imagine this was a woman telling us this and how we would feel, and give him exactly the advice we would give to a woman. I think he's been really brave, and I commend him for actually reaching out, because he must have got to a serious point to do that. I do believe that he needs to take himself to the doctor and speak to the doctor about the whole situation, because I agree there may be a situation of postnatal depression with the wife. So he needs to speak to their family doctor, perhaps. That's the first thing. And obviously the doctor can give him some advice as to other agencies that he can use. But he needs to make sure that he is protected. He needs to make sure that the children are protected. It doesn't sound to me as if he's too worried about the children at this point. And again, as somebody mentioned, with this lockdown, it's a very intense situation. So everything seems to be compounded. But in a way, if we took postnatal depression out of it, it would almost be as if this lady's got an au pair rather than a husband, an au pair that provides financial services as well. And what is his function and role, and how has it changed over time? So I think he needs to take himself to the doctor and speak to the doctor about the entire family, so that they can get all the interventions they need, because it's most probably, or most definitely, more than one intervention for her, intervention for him. And that's
and some intervention for children as well. I think that needs to. I mean, there's 2 teenage boys there he's mentioned, and another child, a much younger child. So this anger, displaying of anger, it doesn't say whether or not the children are there, but we all know that we've been in lockdown for a year or so, and so we've all been in the same space. It's highly likely that those children have witnessed some of this behaviour. So for those of you who have noticed, we've got some information on the bottom of the screen. Male victims of abuse, www.mankind.org.co.uk, and there is a phone number that goes with that as well. There are 3 different organisations there that can help. I don't know if there's anybody on here that offers any other counselling. I know that Cecile is not on tonight. I'm not sure if she's on, but she does do some of our counselling. Oh, she's there.
She's there, yeah.
There you go, Cecile. I just mentioned your name as a counsellor. I would say therapy is blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. It's possible for both or therapy for him on his own. He needs to ensure he is safe and that the children are safe. He may need to take himself out of the situation, but I would start with therapy for him. Cecile, would you be willing to do a consultation with him as well? Because, you know, Cecile works with us, and if I do need to do a referral, I would normally refer to Cecile, because I know she's a counsellor. And again, Bilal is saying he's a therapist and he's happy to offer his services. Please contact me on info@yvonnemichelle.com. Send me an email and I will connect you with him. Okay. I know that this is very sobering. This is kind of like really like, this is not, you know, the kind of thing that we normally talk about. Sometimes we have to talk about these hard hitting subjects. Delroy Tollock says, can we put Delroy Tollock? And Cecile is saying, yes, of course, absolutely. Thank you, Cecile. Why his partner can't see what she's doing is wrong, especially if she's got a man that's providing and accepting her children. Is it as simple as that, though, Delroy? We don't know. We don't know why. But we know that things have changed, and we know that life has also changed. We don't know if it's because of this lockdown, why that's affecting her. We don't know if it's mental health. We don't know. We can only go by what has been said in the letter. But I tell you, when I read the letter, it really breaks my heart. You know, I had to hold back some of the tears, because sometimes when our letters come, there are things in there that may give the person's identity away, and I'm very mindful of that. I'm very, very mindful. And again, you know, it feels like this man is on his own, because he says, my wife does her part for the kids, but does not do for me. And he makes a point of saying that he wash, cook, clean, iron, does housework, helps around the house. And he makes a point of saying that. Karen, do you want to come in?
Yes, so there's lots of layers to this. It doesn't sound like something that just started happening in the last year, because he has said stuff like she's very rude with his family. So this sounds like a long-term situation that's been brewing and building. In regards to the actual depression part, I'm not 100% sure, because he does say that she looks after the children, and she still seems to be quite aware and, you know, conscious of, like, for instance, that certain things are done around the house and he's not doing it anymore. So I think there's 3 sides to every story, obviously. So it would be what he says, what she's really experiencing, and what the truth is. And we don't really know. What I would say for him is, yes, we could say that if this was a woman, we would tell her to do X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, society does not, to this point, necessarily see men in the same light and abuse men in the same light. So I would say that he should definitely seek counseling, definitely go and see the family doctor, because this needs to start being documented. Because if he just gets up and leaves the house, then she's got a thing to say, well, he's just abandoned us, if you see what I'm saying. So he needs to really start documenting some of these behaviors. And it sounds as if he can't really talk to her in regards to her going to see a counselor. So yeah, he could try getting some kind of a neutral friend to come and help. But yeah, I definitely think he should start documenting, getting some of this documented. He can't really just leave it and let it keep carrying on, and then something really escalates and people really do get physically hurt.
How often can you leave the house? You know, how often can you, you know, if
Get
things
up.
are becoming volatile, how often,
Yeah.
how, you know, what happens if she's standing by the door and you can't get out?
Yeah.
And he's, you know, he said that he has spoken to a friend, and the friend says, you know, just, you know, give her one slap kind of thing.
Well, sorry,
Which
was that
would be
her friend or his friend
his
or?
friend, his friend.
Yeah,
Really
no,
confiding in
disregard that.
somebody, they give her a slap, you know.
Yeah,
But he
they were
said
being
that,
flippant.
yeah, that's not
Yeah,
his way.
it's not
That's
helpful. In this
yeah,
day and age, he does that. He's literally handed over everything to her. So I'm
yeah.
just trying to be a bit of a neutral here, where there needs to be some balance. Obviously, if the relationship isn't work, the best thing is to separate as amicably as possible. But if you start doing these kind of things, then there'd be no chance.
I think the first port of call is always to sort it out. I'm going to bring in Faye and see what Faye wants to say.
If this landed on my desk, I have to look at it from a professional point of view.
Do that.
I mean, I would be looking at safeguarding him, safeguarding those children, and certainly some intervention for her, because I just wouldn't want to be leaving those children in that situation. I definitely wouldn't. I think, you know, I certainly think there's a hint of jealousy in there, because she seems to be alienating him from his relationships, his structure, and he's got a good relationship with the children as well. And maybe she's just jealous of that. It just seems that, I don't know, to me, it's the relationships that he has, she doesn't like it. And that's what abusers do. They kind of alienate, you know, their partners from everyone around them. So for me, he would definitely need to be going to a GP, getting referral. He would definitely have to get some intervention for those children, because God only knows what those children have seen already and what they're experiencing, and they're traumatized by that. The thing is with the lady involved, it's very difficult to tell somebody they need help if they don't recognize it for themselves. So for me, it's not even about her at this point. It's about him, and it's about those children. And if she doesn't buck up from that, then, you know, there has to be some more serious intervention. I don't think at this point we can tackle her. She's just not the most important element. If that was on my desk tomorrow, it will be about him, it will be about the children. And she, you know, there has to be some intervention for her, but she has to recognize that within herself. And I don't think she recognizes that, because he's saying it's escalating. So whatever the reason is for it to be escalating, she's not recognizing that.
Thank you for that, Faye. I think that that's the right course of thought. You know, as Michelle has rightly said, if this was a woman, what would we be saying? And it's the same thing. It's only that he's a male. And I think that, you know, we have to look at it. If it was a woman, these are the type of things that would be put in place, and what we would be looking at, you know. And so I think that we certainly would be giving the advice to him to protect himself. If he can come out of the situation. But from what I can ascertain from the letter is that his concerns are for the children. Should he take them? Two of the children are not his. what would happen if he took those children? What would be the implications? How would she react? What, you know, all of these things are there. You know, this is a real dilemma, guys. It really is. And I know that, you know, we like to have a little bit of a laugh and a joke, but this is real life. This is real. This is real. And, you know, we have to, you know, think about how we could steer this young man in the right direction. And, you know, I do believe that, you know, advising to go to the GP is the right course of action. There was one other message there from Cecile. Can we put that back up for me, please? Can I get that up? And as you can see on the thread, thank you very much. Documentation is key. GP can do that, but also the therapist can too. As I have previously supplied reports when necessary in family relationships, etc. Thank you for that, Cecile. I think it's really, really important that we find therapists that understand us and understand how we think and what, you know, what we go through. So, you know, and again, at the bottom of the screen, you can see that there's male victims of abuse. You can see the phone number and the website address. The National Abuse Helpline is also there, and men's advice line, mensadviceline.org.uk. So if you do find yourself that you are in this situation, or you relate to this situation, or you feel that this is triggering you, please do use these contact numbers. They are there for you. I should actually look for the Samaritans. Can one of you guys just look up the Samaritans number for me, please? Just in case, just as an extra precaution, in case of anything. We just need to find a number, because we are here to help. We are here to assist. You know, Naturalistic says he needs to set himself up first. If he's contemplating taking children, can he speak to the elder boy's father? Maybe he can assist. That is also a thing. A good shout, Naturalistic. The boys, I don't know. It's not mentioned. He said he's raising the boys as his. So I don't know if there is a father in the picture at all. But what I do know is that this young man needs help and needs support. And we will offer as much support as we possibly can. Once he leaves, he can't go back to the wife. Wife will not react well. She probably won't. If she's getting on one for him not cutting the grass, not doing the gardening, or taking out the bin, or whatever it is, she's probably not going to react. Theo, have you got any words as from a male perspective? Because I know he said in his letter that he's feeling very embarrassed and hasn't really spoken to anybody about this. Do you have any words of encouragement? Or
yeah. The thing is, men need to stop feeling embarrassed. You know, we need to get past this embarrassment about being this tough man and all this stuff. I know his friend said, if it was me, I'd just box her and stuff like that. We know that's not the way to go. That's not gonna solve anything, and it's not gonna show anything positive in that, especially if you've got two teenage boys as well in the house. That's not a good way to go. So men need to stop, because there's other men that's in the same situation. And I know of men in that situation as well. And you just have to talk, because you'd be surprised what happens when you talk, how much other guys will start talking. So don't feel embarrassed. If you got family, you got friends, someone that you trust as your friend, go and speak to them, go and confide in them, be open and honest. If you have to cry, don't feel embarrassed in crying. I'm a crybaby, so crying is not a problem. It's good for your soul, actually. It's cleansing. But you have to protect yourself. End of the day, it's no good you being in the house and you're a shell of a man cowering in a corner, because that's not helping anybody. So you need to protect yourself, come out, even if you have to go away for a few days, just for some peace, and to clear your head and then make the right move there. The helpline going across, make a phone call, and just stay away for a few days. Doesn't matter if she goes off and gets mad. She's going to go off and get mad anyway. So let her go. It doesn't sound like the children are in any danger, because she does look after the children. That's what it says in the letter. So the children don't sound at risk. It sounds like you're at risk. So don't feel embarrassed. There's nothing to feel embarrassed about. You sound like you're a good man. It's only good man will feel embarrassed. A bad man wouldn't feel embarrassed. He'd be like, so the girl give me a hard time, I thumping them out. That's what a bad man will say. So only good man will say I feel embarrassed. So don't feel embarrassed for being a good man and wanting to do the right thing for your family. So just stand up and talk and be big enough and walk out and take a break. Because that's just, I couldn't even imagine being in that relationship. That's just too much.
The problem with that is what I would say is because he's got a child in the house, he's got a child that belongs to him. So for me, there's an issue around, because if she's got such an anger towards him, she might not have that anger towards her other two children. She might have that anger towards her child that belongs to him. So I do think he has to.
That's the one that got hurt. That's the child that got hurt.
Yeah, that's the one that got hurt. So for me, he was in the way, and she was in such a fit of rage that she didn't even recognize that child was there or whatever happened. So to me, because that child is a product of him as well, and she's not liking him, and to me, I would be so worried about that child as well staying in the household. If he can take the child, I would take the child, because that is a product of him, and she doesn't like him. So the other two children maybe not, because they're from a previous relationship, but this child, I wouldn't want to leave this child. I would tell him, take the child away from that situation, his own child.
But we also have to be mindful of, they said that they were together for 5 years. And the children are teenagers now, but we don't know how old they are in terms of teenage years. And they're going through a really difficult time now as well. They've had lockdown, they've been homeschooled, they might be doing assessments instead of exams and all the rest of it. And how involved is he in their lives? If he's thinking about taking them, does he have any parental responsibility for them that he can act on their behalf anyway? But before he even gets that far, he needs to go to the doctor, because the doctor will be able to provide lots of avenues for them. And yes, therapy, of course. If he had to go to the doctor to get therapy, it would take a long time. So he might have to take that into his own hands. But the doctor, even though the doctor may not be able to speak to him about his wife's records, hopefully if it's a family doctor, they may be able to make some sort of intervention in terms of health visitors if the child is under 2. So there's that avenue. But you have to be really, really careful about what's going on with this, because if many agencies get involved, it can be real turmoil for those teenage children as well. And he sounds to me like the sort of person that wouldn't want to have turmoil at all, almost to his detriment, which is why he's probably still there. But he needs to really take action quickly and get to that doctor, have an appointment. It sounds like he works outside of the home as well, because he said he works, but he didn't say he was working from home. So maybe so maybe he can make a consultation with the doctor to be triaged, if you like, over online. But then maybe he could make an appointment to actually go in and see them, because I think that they are accepting second appointments now. So he needs to really get on that.
Thank you. Karen, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I pretty much agree. As I said, he should definitely start a process of getting this documented. I'm not really feeling that he has so much of an issue with the kids in regards to their safety, because he does go to school and leave the kids with her and stuff like that. So he's not really indicated that he's that scared. I could kind of see how their mutual child may have got in the way and not intentionally hurt, but of course the child got hurt, so that is an issue. But he has said that she does look after the children. She doesn't look after him. He goes out to work, he earns the money. She's not really catering to him in that kind of way. So as I said, it's a long-term situation that's been brewing and slowly building, and now we get to this crescendo. And yeah, he needs to start documenting it, getting it documented by a third party, definitely. Oh, and in regards to the 2 older children, can he speak to her family about possibly having the 2 older children? Because yeah, he might not have rights, so to speak, to actually take them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how, unless he's adopted those children, I don't see how he would have any real responsibility for them unless she kind of gave him that responsibility. And I think a good protocol would be to go to her family. From the letter, it sounds as if he's quite estranged from his family. He hasn't seen his families. He doesn't go anywhere. He stays at home. He's having a hard time, it sounds like. So, I think that, as Karen says, it would be beneficial for him to maybe have a conversation with the family, if that's possible, because we don't want to irritate and make her, more irate.
This has only been 5 years, so it's kind of got here kind of pretty quick.
Yeah, they've been married for 5 years, it says.
Yeah. So for her to like cut him off from his family, he doesn't go out, he doesn't have any friends. That's like
that's proper abusive behavior, isn't it? It's
narcissistic.
Yeah. Very abusive. Very abusive indeed.
That's been going on for a while. That's been going on for at least 2-3 years, isn't it?
He's saying that this happened after the baby was born, and the baby's 2.
The aggressiveness has happened after, but not necessarily the separation from his family and not going out and stuff like that, which is also an issue as well on its own. So, and she said to him that he's not for her. So he claims he doesn't know. He claims he doesn't know what that means.
He doesn't know what it means because he
puts other people first.
Yeah,
but how does he put other people first when
he's not
seeing his family? He's not seeing his family. He's not seeing his family. He's not seeing his friends. He's not going out. It's really weird. Something's not right.
He's putting the children first. That's what I think. It's the children that he's putting first. Because he has nothing else. If you consider that she's not paying him attention, then all of the attention that he's now giving is to those children, and she doesn't like that because there isn't anybody else. Who else is there that he's given attention to? To me, it's that relationship that he's got with them children that is affecting her right now.
You've got a point there, Faye. I have to admit, you have a point there, because we think about where we are. I mean, what we're living through. We've spent the last how much months in our house. Can't mix with nobody. We've had limited, if it's not for these kind of things, we're law-abiding citizens. If it's not for things like Zoom and StreamYard and all those things, we're not seeing each other. We're not able to see, touch, feel, smell, each other. We're everything is distant, everything is virtual. So how, I don't know if it's like a recent thing, but he's not for, she's saying he's not for her. What does that mean? And what could mean?
It could mean that she doesn't think that they're good as a couple, or it could mean he doesn't represent her best. She doesn't feel as if he represents her best interest, because he does say, oh, she works part-time, and he believes that he has to look after the family. But suppose it's a point of view where she doesn't want that. She doesn't want to work part-time. She wants to work full-time, and he's leaving the house and leaving her in the house and going off to work. And, this element of her saying that he's putting other people first. Yes, it could be the children, but she's still kind of catering for the kids and looking after the kids. So it could literally be that he's out at work, working long hours, maybe somehow neglecting her. There's so many different avenues that this could have taken to get to this point. We just don't really know. But at this juncture, where he feels so uncomfortable, and the element of abuse has definitely, you know, I mean, abuse is never good, but it's got to a point now where he does need to seek outside help. He should definitely just go and do that.
Agreed. Agreed.
Needs to.
Is it Netaroy Heru says something is not right? Excuse me. We have to remember that there is always three sides of the story: his side, her side, and the truth, which is very, very true. Very, very true. However, because there has been an accusation, as it were, of abuse, we have to take this seriously. So, and if this was a woman, we would automatically be up and be like, right, what you need to do is this. Because it's a man, it makes no difference. He's a human being, and there are children in that house. So, and he has said, you know, he was raised the right way. He never saw his dad hit his mum, or, you know, or anything like that. And he just doesn't feel that that's the route for him. He is, I don't want to misquote the man. He says he never saw it, and he believes in his heart that a man should never hit a woman, and so that is not an option. But he also said something about his nature. That's what he got angry. He said, blah, blah, blah.
So he's calm and quiet.
He's quiet. Yeah, that's what it was.
Quiet nature. He's calm.
He's a quiet and calm natured person.
Yeah, that can irritate somebody who's not that way. So when when she's shouting at him, he's just not responding. So that can wind some people up. So when she says she's not for him because he's not combative, so there's a sexual element of that, because she seems to be, as he says, he mentions that, so that might be a significant thing, that he's, you know, not quite experienced as she is, and she's asking him to try out new things and he's not doing that. So that could cause a frustration. There could be a number of things that cause a frustration. He's not combative, you know, that for some people is frustrating for them and they get more angry. But if that was if we were talking about a woman in this situation, we'd be telling that woman to leave that house with the children.
That's right.
Period.
Yeah.
So if he can, you know, and as we say, if we're mirroring that same advice, then that's what he should be doing, and seeing if he can get those children removed in whichever way, shape, or form in this instance, because that's what we'll be telling a woman. I don't see that the children that are not important. They are important. They are just as important, if not more, because they can be emotionally scarred from whatever's been going on in that house for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the two older children, he can't just take up and leave with.
Oh, I know.
Because of the parental responsibility.
Yeah.
He won't. And he's going to be mindful, I'm sure, that if he does something untoward, what will happen is the children will get taken away. And that's the last thing he's going to want. So he's got to take this step by step. I think he does need to go to the doctor, but also for himself. She's saying that he's not for her, but for himself, maybe he needs to join some groups like we've done over the lockdown because of the isolation. And maybe he needs to join a men's group where he's going to get some more balanced ideas and general chat from men.
There's not many men's group.
No, there isn't. But, you know, there must be a couple that he could look into, because really the one person that he has reached out to has told him a bag of nonsense. And he
would get that. As I said, the best thing to do, he has to leave. And if she's saying he's not for her, then he has to think about the relationship. He has to really think, is this relationship, just like we spoke to the previous one, is this relationship for you? Because it sounds like you're not compatible, and there's obviously issues there, and I don't think they're going to be resolved anytime soon, because it sounds like this woman is quite comfortable with what it is. She wants to hit him, she wants to cuss him, she wants to fight him over grass. Come on, that's not even nothing. to be wanting to fight somebody. The man pays the bills. He does what he's supposed to be doing, and you're not cutting the grass, and you want to attack him. To your yeah, there's.
And I wonder how old she is.
Yeah,
if she's got teenage children, I wonder if he's a bit.
She's older than him,
isn't she? Older than him.
No, she's older than him. He says that she's older than him.
Yeah, she's older.
Than him. And
he says he actually says that she has more experience.
Yeah, he didn't say she was older.
He said. He says, I have not had many previous relationships, but she has had more experience in that area, if you understand what I mean. That was his words.
Yeah.
There's a sexual element to that.
Yeah, that sounds sexual.
She's definitely not.
She's frustrated.
That's what she means when she says he's not for her.
Yeah, but you know what?
I think they haven't established that.
Yeah,
that would have been,
he's not matching her.
She knew that from a long time, though, isn't it?
Of course, but over time,
everyone says, after the 2 pumps and a squirt from the first time, he's out the door. So you've been with this man, you settled down, you decided to get married and all that stuff, had a child, and now you're going to be wanting to fight him over sex. You can't even bring that to the table.
You can't
bring that to the table.
No, that's it's not true. About that. You can't be wanting to fight the man for that.
You can't be talking about that now. I want to fight him because you're not satisfied. He hasn't satisfied you in 5 years.
No, but it might have changed because she's had the baby. He's not had experience in this situation. Some men, when they have children, their sex attractiveness or whatever, it does change. So, that could also be an element. A woman changed, but because she's been there before, you don't know. Some people, did I change? I didn't really change in that department, I would say. Everybody doesn't change. And if she hasn't changed and he has changed, or, something there's not compatible, and she's trying to get his attention, very few change. But as you said, the way how he's put himself out there, how he's written it out, and he's saying that she has more experience in that department. So you got to kind of read between the lines there. That sounds to me like he's not meeting her where she needs to be sexually. So but it doesn't mean that it's been something that's obviously not, Theo. As I said, there's lots of different layers to this. There's lots of different avenues that this relationship has gone down to get to this particular point. He's talking about so many different things in this letter. It's not just a one thing I provide and my woman's beating me up. No, it's there's lots of things that are added into this letter, and because he has said those specific words, it just sounds to me like, and then she's saying you're not for me. That means that he's not meeting her where she needs to be, but it doesn't mean that that's been going on forever.
She's essentially saying he's not man enough. He's not man enough. He's man enough when it comes to the house, but he's not man enough, which is why she's not treating him like a husband.
With respect,
There's no respect there. And
you're putting other people before me. I'm calling you out and I'm saying I want this attention. I'm not saying that this is a reason to go thumping up the man. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, it sounds to me like she's saying, look, I am here. All you're doing is reducing me to looking after the kids and I'm working part-time. I want to do more of my life. You're spending so much time. You're spending so much time looking at other people. So obviously,
No, the man's working.
I understand that, Theo.
You can't have me working, paying the bills, and then you want me at home. You can't have both. It doesn't
I'm
work
not saying that she wants him at home. What I'm saying is, whatever it is that she's crying out for, he's not feeding that need. And he's even, because he has said that she's got more experience than him, it sounds to me like he also knows that he's not meeting that
so
criteria.
Sexually, she's frustrated. Okay, I hear that. Yvonne's got 1.7 something next to her, right by her foot, because I know she's looking at the box right now. See,
everybody don't want that.
She's got that set up. See, gift wrap. Go send it to the woman. Send it to the woman. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to say is, but Karen,
that don't replace a man.
She's isolated this man, so he doesn't have any friends. He doesn't even speak to his family. He doesn't go anywhere apart from work and home. Yeah, he doesn't do anything else. He's at home. We've been in lockdown, so most people was at home all last year, sitting in his yard with this woman. she's not satisfied sexually. Okay, you're not satisfied sexually, but that doesn't give you any right to
Did you not hear what I
abuse.
said?
I
Did
know,
you
I
not
know what
hear
you
what I
said.
said?
I heard what you said, but now she's getting physical because she's not satisfied. He's got to come out of the house.
As I said, it's lots of different layers to this.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not
layers,
just. It's
but
not,
the layers.
and I've said before at the beginning, yes, he should get out. I'm not saying that he should stay. I'm saying he should get out. I'm not saying he should see things from her point of view. I'm not saying any of those things. All I'm saying is there's lots of other messages that are coming through the letter
there's messages coming
that
out.
blatantly saying our sex life is rubbish.
Yeah, he's saying
there's
it.
other
He's
messages
saying
coming
it, so
out.
it's important.
Yeah.
It's an important element because why would
Sex
you
is
say it
in any
otherwise?
Part of
relationship.
it. It's
Yeah,
a part
it
of
is
it.
part of it, definitely.
Sex is important.
But I think there's lots of parts, as Karen said, there's lots of different components to it, which is compounding her to the level of anger.
She's unwell. That's it. She's unwell. There's nothing else.
There are lots of components to this, but
no, she's unwell. Because if it was a guy, you wouldn't be saying there's components to the man. She's unwell.
I would have to say this, that
she's unwell.
Although there are components to this, we are all responsible for our behaviour.
Of course.
And we have to take responsibility for that. So if she's been aggressive because she's sexually frustrated, that is not going to help the situation. That is only going to make him retract more within himself. It is not going to help. And it's, and I believe that there's an issue there because it was, he mentioned that she's more experienced. He didn't say anything else. He just said she's more experienced. And maybe that's a thing that, because, sometimes when women are pissed off, they can say really horrible things, as do men when they're pissed off. So, but I do think that, the most important thing here is that this young man gets the support and the need and his needs are met. First and foremost, I think we know that he can't take the children because the two of the children are not his. But if he wanted to take the youngest one, which is his, he could certainly think about that if he felt that the child was in danger. I kind of feel that way, that there's some other issues here. He mentioned about her drinking as well. That was something that for me, that was like, woo, 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 We know that we're in the pandemic. We know that we're locked in our homes. We know that things have become progressively more difficult for us to handle. Even the most inspirational, the most uplifting people are experiencing issues within their mental health. We cannot disclude that. And I'm not saying that anybody has. I think that, we have to see him as and take him for what he said. I think because again, if it was a woman, our conversation would be slightly different, I think. And I just feel that this man needs as much support, and those children need as much support as humanly possible right now. And again, if it's the wife, if you are a female out there, if you're a woman and you identify with this behavior, I'm going to talk to you right now. You need to get some help. And don't make any excuses. Oh, it was because of. There is no reason for you to put your hand on a man. No reason, unless you're playing with him in the nicest possible way. Unless you're having those kind of things, there is no reason for you to put your hand on a man in a derogatory way. He's not your child. He's not, and even if he's your child, you still don't have the right. You're not your picnic. You didn't make him. So you need to know to keep your hands to yourself. If you're struggling, then you need to go and see your own doctor, your own GP, and start working on you. Nobody has the right to raise their hand to anybody else. Nobody, whether you're male or female. And so if you find that you're in this space of time and you're listening and you identify with that, get yourself some help. There is the number of the domestic abuse helpline. and they will be able to help you, and they will be able to refer you to where you need to go. If you go and you say you are the perpetrator, they will still be able to help you, because everybody needs help. There's no judgment here, no judgment. So I just want those of you who are listening, those of you who are at home, if you identify with this, don't walk away and think, well, that's not me. Don't be ignorant. Be honest with yourself and do something about it. Help yourself. Jemmy Reese says, sorry, he sounds, can you put that back up? Sorry, he sounds like he's scared of her. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. And if that's the case, how would he approach her? Listen, if the woman is, let me put it in reverse as a woman, yeah? If a man is aggressive towards, let me put it to myself, because I can only judge it by my standard. If a man is aggressive towards me, my girl downstairs ain't waking up for nothing. She gone. And you can batter. Nothing ain't happening. Fear will just kill everything. So, and again, he did mention, she's more experienced, and maybe that was his way of saying he could, if someone's having a go at you, you really going to want to perform? Really? I don't think you are. So, my friend, if you are listening tonight, which I do believe you will be listening, because I know that you listen to the show regularly, because you did say in your letter, no, I didn't read, I kind of leave some bits out. If you need a community to hang with, you can join this community. We will put you into our combined group, which is an exclusive group. It's not everybody can get in the exclusive panel group, but we will put you in the group. There is no judgment. We will love on you, we will support you, and we will look out for you. If you do want to join the group, please let me know, and we will put you in. There are some, what's his name again? Bilal has said he also runs a men's talk group online. Men can look out for each other, be there for each other, and just be heard in a safe, confidential, non-judgmental space for men. And it's a men's only therapy group. So again, if you do want to join this group, Bilal has also sent me an email. Thank you for that. I've got that message. Thank you for that. And so I will pass that on. Hey, can we see Chastity's here? Hey guys. Hey Chastity, how you doing? Chastity is our sex therapist. She was on the show with us for weeks. It must have been about 9 weeks. We were talking about sex. So good to have you here, my darling. I hope you're well. Hope you're well. We were just talking about a letter that we received, and we've just given out some advice. So you'll see the National Abuse Helpline on the bottom of the screen. So we're coming up to the last few minutes of the show. Excuse me. I don't know where this cough come from. But before we go, okay, Natural Mystic is saying also check out Nigel Beckles' relationship counselling for men. Okay, we do have some men in our community that are doing some things. Yeah, you have to come back, Chastity. We've got some other things. Hold on. I've got this red box, Chastity, so we need to hook up. Yeah, you need to know what's in this box. Anyway, that's another thing. So we have some men within our community who are doing great things and are working with men. So if you are a man and you resonate with the stories today, if you need help, please do contact us on info@yvonnemichelle.com, and I will pass your details on to Bilal. I will also pass your details on to, well, I don't know, Nigel, but I will pass your details on to Cecile. Cecile is our resident counsellor. If I need to do any referrals, I will refer to Cecile as well. But if you want to speak to a man, I'm going to contact Bilal and we will have a conversation as well, because we do need some other resources on the show when things like this happen, when we find ourselves in this situation. So before we go, I just want to say to the young man, I will be in contact with you. So, you know, don't worry, don't fret, just keep yourself safe. And we're going to come off of that. I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything to the young man who is possibly watching now. I think we've given all the advice. I want to now just, what were your takeaways for the show, especially from the first young lady, female and male tonight? What was your takeaways?
The female, yeah, they're taking you for an idiot. Just move on. Bad investment. Cut and run. The second one, the young man, just take care of yourself, safeguard yourself. You being there, being abused is not going to help anybody. It's trying to toughen it out. And as we've said, there's lots of numbers and help. Take the help that's going, and just stay safe. And you haven't done anything wrong. And and well done for speaking up. You know, it takes a big man to do that. So you are a big man. So don't let anyone make you feel any smaller than what they're trying to do. You're a big man. You're a real big man.
Ladies, anyone got anything to add? What your takeaways were for tonight?
I think I echo Theo for both. They both have to get out of the situations.
Mm.
They're not conducive to development, self-development or anything like that. But for the second one, I definitely would look at the children as well.
Thanks for that. Faye, thanks for that part of encouragement. Michelle?
I think for the young lady, she needs to take the positives from this, even though we've said that we've agreed, yes, on the idiot part, and we jest about that. She needs to learn from this situation so that when she does move on and invest in herself a little bit, that she knows what she wants in the future and she knows what her red flags are and what she's prepared to accept from the jump. So this is a learning curve for her, and she needs to take those lessons from now so that when she goes to the next relationship, it will be a better place for her. For the gentleman, I just want to say, I think he's very brave. He's made the first step, and this too shall pass, because he's now started to do what he needs to do on his journey. And I wish him the very, very best and let him know that he has our support.
Thank you for that. Michelle. Karen?
Hi. Yeah, so for both of them, obviously, yeah, look to get out of it, because one has accepted, you know, has let unacceptable behavior sneak into 3.5 years. And he has also let unacceptable behavior sneak in to 5 years. And, you know, both of them are two situations that, you know, I would say are quite unhealthy, to be honest. So I would definitely look to get out of both of them.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you, my darling. I thank you all for your comments. I echo everything that you guys have said today. I do believe that, you know, both situations are kind of putting those people into a situation where they have to look at themselves and really, really be honest with themselves and say, is this the right place for me to be in? I think the first one, there, as far as we can see, there are no other ties. Her partner is tied to somebody else. They have a child, they have a business, they have all these things, they stay overnight and all that kind of things. So for me, my advice to her would be, you know what, cut your losses and learn from your mistake. Don't walk back into another situation like that, but learn from this mistake, grow from it, and evolve from it. That would be my advice to her. It's never too late. You'll find somebody else who actually has boundaries in place and is committed to you 100%. With regards to this young man, I want you to know that you are loved and you are appreciated. We may not know you by name, we may not know you as a person, but we know your story. And I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not alone, and that there are people out here that do genuinely care and have your best interests at heart. We know that there are three sides to every story, but we've heard your story. You've been heard today. And like the panel have said, it takes great courage to actually speak your truth. And so I want to commend you for actually speaking out. And I want to thank you for trusting us, for sending that letter in and trusting us to talk to you and to air it out in a public domain. I want to thank you for that. I know that desperate times create desperate measures. And I know that you are at the end of your tether. You must be, not to say to send it to us, but, you know, from what you've said, you're not living in an easy situation. So as all the other panel members have said, we commend you. We are here. If you need a network, we are here and we are willing to take you on board. And again, Cecile is there. I will send Cecile's details on to you. I will also send Bilal's details on to you. The contact details are at the bottom of the screen. Jemmy Reese he's been a real keyboard warrior, and I'm going to give this actually to him today. It's the first time anyone on the chat has got the golden mic, but he said takeaway is self-respect and self-love. And so Jemmy Reese, this one is for you today.
That was Natural Mystic that said that.
And everything. Sorry?
Natural Mystic said self-respect, self-love. Gemini Reese says takeaway, know your worth and love yourself first.
Well, I pardon me. Thank you. I stand corrected. Natural Mystic, this is yours. And I'm going to give it to Jemmy Reese as well. Takeaway, know your worth and love yourself first. I'm going to give you both this golden mic. It has never, ever, ever been given to on the chat before.
Never mind, Karen. Next time.
This is normally for the panel, but we're doing things differently. So, guys, we've come to the end of tonight's show. It has been a different show tonight.
Definitely.
It's been a heart-wrenching, soul-searching show. But this is what After Dark is all about. We talk about the conversations that sometimes never get spoken about. Yes, Natural Mystics. Wow, 2 golden mics. Absolutely. We had 2 golden mics. No, we didn't last week. I think Theo just pipped Michelle to the post. Was that
Karen.
Was that right?
Karen. It was Karen.
It was Karen. Sorry,
Karen is battle of Theo and Karen last week.
Yeah,
we're getting used to it. Theo's replacing Tony for me now.
Well, I think I've got to go out shopping. You know, according to Michelle, I've got to go out and get some. I need to get a couple of crowns, and I need to get some more microphones and send them out to people. It's going to be a thing. You know, a statue with a golden mic. You never know. Right. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for your input. Those of you who are here regularly, I want to thank you for your support. Natural Mystic and Jemmy Reese, thank you for your input tonight. You were truly keyboard warriors tonight. And to my panel, Thea Manson, Faye, my gorgeous Faye. We've got Michelle, and we've got Karen here, all here giving great input. I want to thank you guys for being here. We'll be back next week, and next week's show should be, hello Tony. Next week's show should be the hidden issues, the final chapter. We have been going at this. We're going to bring the men and the women together, and we're going to do it in a small and intimate way. We're not going to have a whole heap of people on the panel. We're just having 2 men, 2 women. We're going to talk it out, and we're going to come up with some solutions for our people and our relationships. So I want to thank you all for being here. I love you guys, you know. I really do. I love you guys. Just want you to know that.
Love you too.
You love me. You love. Oh,
A whole heap.
I'm feeling the love. I love you guys, man. I love the panel, and I love you guys who are on Facebook and those of you who are on YouTube. Please do remember to always join us here, and do tell your friends. We want this to grow and grow and grow. And Jemmy Reese says, great show. Thank you. Keep up the great work. Black Awareness Live. Okay. Wonderful. Guys, have a great week. We'll be back here next week between the hours of 10 and midnight. I'm not cutting it down until we've done these shows. So, yeah, we've got a few more weeks at this time. So, guys, I love you lots. Ciao for now. And I will see you next week. Yeah, 10 hours of 10 and midnight, Tuesdays. Ciao, ciao. Say bye, guys.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye. God bless.